Can y'all hear my music?
We sure can.
Well, I picked a station. It's called Instrumentals for Studying, which I thought, kind of fit the theme since you guys all have students here, but it was kind of a mellow station. But you guys, it's 5 o'clock, and I know that because I can hear the beautiful sound of those Breslin bells. And I just want to say thank you guys for being here. We have a really, or at least we had almost 300 people sign up. And so what we're going to do is go around and introduce ourselves. I'm kidding. We'd be here all night, but I do want to just take this opportunity to say, first of all, how so fun it is to have students here and to see a really lively and active campus, and it's just night and day versus last year. So we are just so hopeful for a really, really great year. And part of that great year is Family Weekend. And I know you probably thought all these Zooms were behind us, but I think the silver lining in that COVID year with these Zooms is giving us an opportunity to now do Zooms by choice. And it gives us a way to, I just thought I would try it this year and just try to go over Family Weekend, because this year we have two groups of parents who are going through Family Weekend for the first time, unless they had another student here. And as much as we try to explain it in an email or on the website, there still are a lot of questions. And so I thought this would be a fun way to just get together and try to get you fired up for Family Weekend. And, Family Weekend is not unique on college campuses, but Sewanee's Family Weekend is it's just a thing. It's a really big, we do a lot to make it fun. And, I would say I do know the numbers. It's something like 80% of families come. I mean, it's not just freshman parents that come. I mean, people come to this, and we try to let it be a time for you guys to make new friends and see Sewanee through your students' eyes, and also a chance for us to share some information through some of the planned events that we have. So what I want to do tonight is kind of go over what we've never done it before, but I'm calling it Family Weekend 101, and just talk about some of the things that you need to know, and then some things that you will want to know. And then I will kind of go over that a little quickly, and then we can open it up to questions for you all. And we'll, when we get there, I'll kind of tell you how we'll do that, so we know who will be next to ask a question, or you can type it in the chat. So anyway, I have a little thing that, because I am recording this, just so you guys know, and I did a little PowerPoint, but I don't want to lock you into that. But I have that so that when I share the recording, I can share this little PowerPoint too. But one of the main questions was, what do I wear? And I have some pictures in this PowerPoint, so that's why I do want to go ahead and share it. Okay, so like I said, we're going to get to the things that you need to know, and it's the date. And so I hope that you know what the date is. It's September 17th through 19th. And I'm not going to share until I get to the pictures. Is that all right with everybody? I'll just talk you through it. The date is September 17th through 19th. And the reason I'm telling you that is because I want to tell you about the how we select that date, because I know a lot of you are wondering about what next year's date is. And we don't know. And we usually do know by now. But I looked at the home football schedule, and there's a home game on October 1st and one on October 22nd. So it's, to me, going to be one of those 2 days. The first home game is September 3rd or something like that, and that would just be too early. So I think they're going to come back and give me one of these dates. And I will let you know as soon as I know. But the reason I'm even saying it is because accommodations, as you all probably know, are so tricky. And if you are working with someone where you're emailing or calling to request an accommodation rather than a motel who actually needs a date, the local people here understand. And if you just say, can I rent for family weekend, they'll block out a couple weekends, and then you just can come back and let them know what date we end up on. The next thing that you need to know is all about registration. And many of you have already registered, and we do a registration per family. So it's $75 per family. So if you've got grandma coming and little brother coming, that's all lumped into the family. Because we want all of them to come. And so we didn't want to make it a, charge per person kind of thing. And then that covers, and you pre-register, and you can do that now online, but that covers the shuttle passes. When you come here, you'll get it doesn't cover the shuttle passes, but it covers. So when you pre-register, you'll come right to McGriff and pick up your packet. And so you'll have an option to register as a family. And then you'll have an option to purchase a shuttle pass, purchase a tailgate space, purchase a golf registration, and then sign up for gowning tickets. And I'm going to go through each one of those separately, but I just wanted you to know that when you register, there's the flat fee of $75 and then some additional things. But that $75 covers a couple meals. Like, we have a really fun cookout Friday night, and there's a wine and beer there. And then we offer, you can use your name tag to get into the dining hall for breakfast and lunch in McClurg. But you'll also get like we have a family weekend souvenir that we give out, and there's some other things when you get here, but there's costs to us, but I'm just trying to say what you kind of get. And then if you've already registered and after tonight you say, oh my gosh, I need that shuttle pass, or I now want a tailgate space and I didn't sign up for it, we're going to create an additional family weekend registration, so that, because the one now requires you to pay that $75. And if you've already done that, it's hard to go back in and add these things. So we're going to do that, or you can just call us and we will take care of it. But we're going to set that up so you can go online and do it. So like I said, the registration, McGriff Alumni House is sort of the central location, and it's where you'll come pick up your packets. If you want to wait and register on site, you can walk in and register, or add an additional guest, so we get a new name tag for them. But the name tags will work like your ticket throughout the weekend. You'll also get a parent directory, a schedule for the weekend, and then I already mentioned the souvenir, but we use McGriff as like the hospitality room, and we'll have coffee and water, and it just ends up being a really good place to hang out in between events, or a great meeting space to meet your student if they're in class and you're wanting to meet them for lunch, and this would be a good place to meet. We have it set up here with lots of information, and we have a phone charging station. So, you know, just plan for McGriff to be the place that you're going to kind of hang out. And we start hanging out here Thursday at 1 o'clock. And some of you get in earlier because maybe your rental is for longer. But we will open registration at 1 o'clock on Thursday, and we'll be open all day Friday till about 5 and Saturday till 1. Okay, so those two things were the things I thought you really needed to know: the date and thinking about next year, and then registration and how all that works. What you might want to know about is I wanted to tell you about parking. And of course, parking is always tough anyway, but they will open up parking on University Avenue. All the parking lots will be available. And while I am recording this, they're not going to ticket people during family weekend. So as long as you're not parked in front of a fire hydrant, you are probably going to be okay with your parking. The next thing is the shuttle. I wanted to talk to you about. A couple of years ago, we added a shuttle, and you pay $10 and you get the shuttle pass. And like whoever you've signed up in your packet will get a pass. So your $10 covers all those people. And so based on the name tags, we'll put 7 shuttle passes in there. And we have university vans that we use. So it's not a professional shuttle service, but we actually use students from the School of Theology, because they always need extra money, and they will help us out that weekend. And so they're driving these shuttles, and they're university vans, and we'll have them labeled with signs on them. And how they work is, in Sewanee, they work like a shuttle. So we'll have a couple stops, like the most common place is downtown, the Sewanee Inn, here at McGriff, and there's one other place. But anyway, and then on the other end, it'll work like a taxi. So we actually have a little dispatch number, and you'll get it if you purchase a shuttle. And you'll call them up and you'll say, I'm ready to come to campus. Can you come get me? And you give them your address, and they'll go in like a 6-mile radius. And so they'll come pick you up and they'll bring you to campus. And then when you're ready to go home, you just go to one of those stops and they'll take you wherever you want to go. If it's the Waffle House, if it's the Assembly, if you're staying, you know, maybe out towards Tracy City or on Jump Off Road, they will take you there. So it's worked really well. And like I said, the seminary drivers are not professional drivers, but they're great and they're helpful, and they love tips. So if you have any questions, you save those and we'll get those at the end. The next thing I want you to know about is the fun picnic. We call it but it's really a cookout. So on Friday afternoon, there's the gowning convocation, and I will cover that for you. But after that, and that's at 4 o'clock, after that, everybody comes out of the chapel, and then everyone joins in that wasn't in the chapel. So it's a full family weekend cookout, and it's on the quad, and it's so fun. And it's really good food, and we have live music, and that's a great place to see. We invite faculty members and coaches, so you'll get to meet some of your students' professors and just meet other people. But I hope that you will come to that and plan to come to that, because that's really the only full all family weekend event that we hold. And it's fun. It's really fun. And again, I told you about that there is a bar there, and the seminary people also, we kind of have to call on them to help us fill out our bartending needs too. So if you are an Episcopalian, you may see someone from your owning diocese there, but it's fun. After the cookout, we have a live band, which is Entice, and it's a really popular band. And the students often get them for their fraternity and sorority parties, but we've had them several years. They're so fun. Just picture kind of a band that for a wedding dance band, but on the quad. So we've got the big picnic, and at 9 o'clock, when it gets dark, we will have fireworks and then go into this live dance. So in between the picnic and the dance, you could probably go somewhere, like go change clothes if you've been out all day, or do something. But the picnic, there'll be a little bit of a gap in there. But it's super fun. It's so fun. And bring your student if you want. And it's just a really fun way to kick off family weekend. The next thing is the tailgate. And I get a ton of questions about this. And the first thing I want to say is, if you're a football parent, the football parents have always sort of tailgated behind the stadium. And that's kind of a first come, first serve situation. And I think you pay a little small parking fee. You probably all know about that unless you're a new football parent. But that's not the tailgate space we are doing for family weekend. Ours is, you just keep going past the football field a little bit towards the baseball field. And there's a practice football field, and they let us have that for our tailgate space. And we tried this a couple years ago when we had a night football game, which was really exciting. And it was the first year we'd had lights on the field. And so we had a night game, and we thought, well, what do we do all day? So we thought, we'll plan a tailgate. And it was so fun. It was a huge hit. Now, I need to warn you that it's Division III tailgating. So, people, it's just kind of not very elaborate, but we'll mark off spots that are 20 by 20 in size. And we have they did squeeze more in for me last year. We sell out of this. It's that fun. And people will get a space. We have about 90 spaces. I think they can squeeze in up to 100. But, so you do it before the game. We start at 11:30, and everybody just brings a table and some chairs and what they want to eat and some things to drink, and people play some music and do cornhole, and it's just fun. But if you've got some people that have a space, will invite people to their space, and it's a party, and it's just, you will see so many people there, and you will meet new friends. And anyway, if you don't get a space, I think you will probably end up going to that tailgate area, because you either want to see what it's all about, or other people there. So when you sign up for that, you can tell me, oh, I'd like to be next to so-and-so, if that's the case. And you can say, I did it last year and I loved my space, or I want to move this year. So just tell me, if you have a preference, if you're familiar with it or not. The other thing about the tailgate is the catering arm of our dining services will offer family packs. They aren't sure yet what those are going to be. It might be barbecue, it might be fried chicken. But anyway, that'll be an option if you don't want to lug all not that you even have to bring food, but if you don't want to lug a bunch of food in, you'll have information about how you can get some of those packets. The other thing I want to say about the tailgate, and it's not really related, but before family weekend, and it'll probably be in a couple weeks. So in about 2 weeks, I sent out, I hope everybody got the email that said, we are doing a parent directory. And we realized there was no way for parents to connect to each other, that, you learned that your friend had gone to Donald's lake house and you want to kind of reach out and thank his parents, or you're looking for someone who's driving from San Antonio and then can take your kids whatever that they forgot, or get a ride for Thanksgiving. So anyway, we thought, well, let us be the people that create a parent directory. So we have you guys in our system because we got it from the admissions application. But so we want to make sure it's accurate. So I sent that out to you and said, send us any changes, because this is how it's going to print if you don't. But one of those things, and it's not printed in the directory, but one of the things we asked you for in that email was where you went to college. And that was another thing we realized, that sometimes people would be parents of a senior and they'd say, oh my gosh, my fraternity brother has a student here and I didn't know it until this year. And so it would have been fun to know that earlier. So anyway, one thing we do is, with that information, I send out a list of people who went to your school. And it's not printed anywhere else, and we don't send it to anyone except who went to your school. And it's just so fascinating to find out all those connections. So in about 2 weeks, I will do that. And this is coming full circle. So what has happened, because I do that, sometimes people will say, oh my gosh, look at all these people. I'm going to have a Washington and Lee party. And that's the real example. And so they'll get a tailgate spot and invite people to that. So anyway, the tailgate is really fun, super fun. And it's also super fun to get that list to see who else might have a student here that went to your alma mater. Okay. One other thing at the tailgate, we'll provide all these big trash can things and bathrooms, and the spaces, but the rest is kind of on your own. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is the golf tournament. And a couple years ago, we added a family weekend golf tournament, and it's really fun. It's Friday morning, so if you're not here, it kind of limits some people from being able to play in it. But if you are able to get here in time, you would sign up with a team of 2, but we play in foursomes, and it's a scramble, and the golf pros at the golf lodge handle it, and they do a fantastic job. And there's beverage carts and snacks, and then there's lunch when you finish. But it's Friday morning this year, because they already had a tournament on Thursday out there. But if you want to play golf, then that would be super fun. I want to touch on accommodations real quickly, and I hope you've got them by now. But if you don't, I know it seems like there's some sort of secret club you have to be in to find a place to stay. But a lot of times people will let our office know if they've had a cancellation. And so if you just let me know you're still looking, I can, keep a list, so that when I learn of somebody who's had a cancellation, or if for some reason they're still available, I can pass that info along to you. And then the last thing I want to talk about real fast is the gowning ceremony. And this only pertains to people whose student is becoming inducted into the Order of the Gown this time. So it will not be any freshmen. And if you're a sophomore parent, that is so awesome, because it's really hard to get your gown as a sophomore. And each year as it goes, it gets a little bit easier grade point average wise. But so the gowning ceremony is a big deal. and it happens during the convocation service, and they'll and usually those services are open, and there's honorary degrees and some awards that are given out. But this one in the fall, where we include the Order of the Gown ceremony, we don't open it up to the public, so we have to issue tickets for that. And each new member of the Order of Gown will get 4 tickets, one for themselves, one for the person who's gowning them, and then 2 additional tickets for guests. And I know that there'll be some people that have more than the 4 people, but we will live stream it, and you will be able to watch it in Gary Auditorium or on your phone or wherever, computer. So I'll send that link to you so you can share it with friends or family who are not here. But the tickets are a big deal. And so when you register for Family Weekend, you have to request how many of those 4 tickets you want. There's something like 340 new members, and 340 times 4 is a lot. And it's actually more seats than we have. So I know someone's going to say, oh, but the godmother wants to come. Can I get an additional ticket? And there are just not any additional tickets. So I hope you won't ask me for those, because I'm a people pleaser. I like to say yes, but I won't be able to. But anyway.
Hey, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
So how would it work if you have a mother, father, and then like a young sibling that are trying to all come to the gowning ceremony? Like, are you going to require a ticket for a 7-year-old?
Well, they would need a seat. That's the issue, is they're bringing in additional seats. So that's a ticket equals a seat is how it works.
I mean, yeah, I understand. I'm saying, so one of the parents would then not be able to go, right? That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
Well,
4
unless
tickets.
you get 4 tickets. Now, do they know who's going to gown them yet?
I don't know.
Okay. If it is a faculty member who might be gowning someone else, then we could use the other person's ticket. And there's no rule. I mean, the person that gowns them is supposed to already be a member of the Order of the Gown, someone that already has their gown. So it might be a buddy, it could be a professor, or it could be an alum, but there's no policing of it. There's no rule. So, I mean, if one of you all want to gown your student, you could.
Susie, I totally want to gown my student when it's time.
Yes.
But
Awesome.
I was gonna say that when I graduated from Sewanee, we had 4 tickets for graduation, and my father gave his seat to my grandmother because he thought she should see it. That wasn't my decision, but it's just a factor of the limited space. I think that you have to make some tough decisions every now and then.
Yeah. And here's one thing I will say. Although I just said, please don't ask me for more tickets. Like, if it turns out there's, of those 340, which I don't have this number yet, like, well, and this is probably not the year that it's happening, but that there are 30 people abroad that were to get gowned, and then there's like 50 people who only need 2 tickets because their families aren't coming. I think I'm hearing that I would like to keep a waiting list for that situation. So I was going to talk about how the gowning happens, because it is sort of a mystery if you have never been to one. But just know it's a big deal. It's a milestone. It is significant, and it's so very Sewanee. But how it happens, so your ticket's going to get you in to All Saints, but it doesn't have you a reserved seat. And so some people are going to try to get in line so that they can get real close to the front. Well, that is not necessary because the gowning happens right where you're sitting. So that your student doesn't go up and get gowned. They will stay right where they are. And that's how it's always been. But so they call out all the names, and I feel so sorry for the person whose last name starts with an A, because you stand up in your seat and right where you are, and they continue to call out all 300 names. And then the vice chancellor gets up and says some Latin and says how important being inducted into the Order of Gown is, and do you understand what those privileges mean, and do you accept it? And everybody says, I will. And then he will instruct the people who are gowning someone, which would usually be sitting by you. But if it's a faculty member, they will come out of where they sit and go find their person. But they'll say, okay, receive your gowns or something like that. And my big tip is that is the photo op. So be ready to take the picture of, you know, the gowning or a little video of it. So it happens right at your seat. And I think that's important to say because people are worried about where they're going to sit, but you'll see the whole thing because you'll be right there. Okay. I think I want to wrap up my part by just saying there are a couple of the don't miss events, and the schedule will be really full and robust because we ask all our campus partners to let us list their events, which you know, we just started school Wednesday, so we don't have those yet. But I mean, there'll be like hikes and tours of the Carillon. You'll go up in Chaper Tower, and there'll be department gatherings so you can meet professors, and there's a campus bike ride. There's a fun run. There's just lots of things. So it'll be a really robust. We have a couple lectures that we've got lined up. One on internships and one on student life. There's a brand new person in a position called Vice President for Student Life. So they're going to share their new vision. And there's one by the Babson Center for Global Commerce. So they'll talk about those things. So you'll be able to pick and choose all the things you want to go to, but the don't miss events, and I've already talked about most of them, but there's you will hear from the vice chancellor. So we've got the 17th vice chancellor. Last year, nobody got to meet him. We're so happy to be able to be holding Family Weekend. And so we have arranged for him to have kind of like a welcome address Friday at 2:00. So, you know, I hope you'll come to that. And then again, I'm just emphasizing the Friday event on the quad. It follows the convocation, which is the gowning, and all those people come out to the big party and join everybody else who is there. And then we have the fireworks and the dance. So those are Friday. And then Saturday, you know, the tailgate if you want to, in the football game. There's some other athletic events too. So that's about all I have, except I do want to show you some of these pictures of what people wear. But before I show you, I just want to say, we don't care what you wear. We really don't. But so many people are asking, and I understand it. You want to show up in something that, you know, you don't want to, but just know we don't care. And you will see all kinds of things. But I guess for the most part, people just kind of wear you know, like it's so hard to picture anything outside of summer because it was so hot here today. But, you know, the equivalent of white jeans in a, you know, a blouse, or boots and a cute sweater. And the people coming out of the chapel, though, will be dressed up because they will have worn what we consider class dress, you know, coat and tie. So you'll see those people, and then you'll see people in shorts and golf shirts. But so let me just, these are pictures from a few years ago that this was before we had the picnic or the cookout. We had a little reception. And whoopsie. So see, he's got a tie on, he's got a golf shirt on. Cute boots. So anyway, just whatever you're comfortable in, just know you'll be walking a lot probably. And it might be, we don't know what the weather is going to be like in September. I hope our fall colors are all in full swing. All right, I'm going to look at the chat because I bet there's some questions in there, but does somebody want to just ask away while I'm looking?
I have a question.
Okay.
Will you communicate ahead of time what the rain plan might be? Because we got really caught unaware at orientation and missed things because we had no idea what the rain plan was.
But yeah, so we've already talked about rain plan and potential COVID plan. But yes, we've got a rain plan. The big picnic on the quad will be moved into McGriff, which they've had some wedding receptions in there. It does make sort of a nice venue for that. Not as nice as being out under the stars, but and that's the main thing. I mean, the football game, I guess, will just go on, but that picnic, that is the rain plan.
Thank you.
All right, anybody else?
I have a question. What is the mask wearing policy for the weekend? And also, what is any chance that lovely crafts fair that was there 2 years ago will be back?
Oh, I love that question. Yeah, so right now masks are required inside buildings and encouraged outside. And you know, most of our things are outside, but there will be some inside things. So we'll have masks, but bring them if you can. And then yes, the crafts fair is back. It's going to be, and that is so fun. That's on all day Saturday from 9 to 5. A lot of different artists, I'd say 50 or so. I mean, it's a pretty good crafts fair. You can find art and jewelry and woodworking and pottery and lots of stuff.
Hey, Susan.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Susan.
Hey.
The rain plan for the picnic is McGriff or McClurg?
Did I say McGriff? I'm so sorry.
I was like,
McClurg.
that's going to be crowded.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Thank you for correct. Yeah, it's McClurg Dining Hall. And yeah, we'll communicate it. And I hate to make the rain call, but I'll be watching it closely. Someone said they want to edit their list of family members, and how can they do that? One thing I'll do is once we get a bulk of registrations in, I'll send out kind of a confirmation saying, here are the name tags, to make sure we didn't misspell a name or leave somebody off. And here's what I think you've signed up for. Let us know if there are any changes. So you can either go ahead and tell me now by email that you want to add people, or you can wait till you get that confirmation email.
I have a question.
Okay.
If we think we might have an extra ticket for the gowning ceremony, should we email you, or how do you want to do that?
Well, when you request your tickets, if you request 3, then we would know we have that 4th to use. But if you requested 4 and you have and end up not using it, yeah, would love to know that.
Okay, great, thanks.
I have a
Um,
question. Is the campus pretty much going to be overrun with cars during Parents Weekend? You mentioned something about parking. Is it just, should I just like be sure to borrow my daughter's bike or use the shuttle?
Yeah, I mean, we feel it when it's family weekend. I'll tell you how many name tags we do. We do almost 2,000 name tags. So there's lots of people here. That's not 2,000 cars. So yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, you can come on to campus and there'll probably be a place to park, but once you're here, you probably want to walk around and take the shuttle.
Thanks.
Sure. Yeah. So somebody mentioned there's a soccer game Friday night, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because I was stuttering when I said between the picnic and the dance, there's a break, and that's when the soccer game is going on. Do we need to register for these various events? Well, when you register for the weekend, but if you want, in which, like, if somebody's got the bell ringing event, you don't have to register for that, but you would have to register for golf in the tailgate thing. Rain plans. Let's see. Elise, what's your last name? I'll make sure you get that email. Okay, I'll figure it out. How do we buy football tickets? We don't sell tickets to the game. So you just go enjoy it. Somebody love the honor code. There's some gowning questions, but I think I answered them. Okay, and y'all did too. Ooh,
Susan,
yes.
where's the biggest lot on campus? Would it be the one by the seminary or down, or maybe not, I don't know, the seminary I'm thinking of, the one by Cravens where Cravens used to be? Is that like the biggest lot on campus?
That is the biggest lot on campus. Now, of course, students park there that live in Gorgas and Quintard. And they kind of use, not that there's a ton of people, but if some people bring RVs and they designate that as the place to park the RVs, there's a lot they call the Kmart lot, and it's parallel to University Avenue. If you guys know where the KA house is in Benedict Dorm, it's right behind that, like towards, so it's just right behind that, and it's pretty large. Maybe that's a parking lot map is something I can include in some info going forward. I love it.
Can I just chime in? Our experience 2 years ago was that there was ample parking just to pull up on University Avenue, and they let you parallel park on both sides of it. Unless that's changing, we just we didn't go back in the car till the end of the day, but we could get quite close.
That's right. And they will open up that University Avenue parking. It's usually only for event parking, but this is an event. So that's good info to share, that you were able to easily find parking.
I want to just chime in and say, yes, we also have had no trouble at the family weekends we've been to in the past. You can find parking and it's pretty comfortable, and just walking around campus is generally easy. So I wouldn't be overly anxious about the parking.
Great. Somebody asked, was there online orientation for parents?
Actually, there was, and you can go back and look at it. They did take some things for orientation because I received an email about it.
Oh, good. So it was just like recorded info.
Yes, so you watch at your own pace.
Okay. Maybe I'll send that back out to people. Where will the Vice Chancellor's event take place? It's going to be in Gary Auditorium, which holds 800 people, which is right next door here to the McGriff Alumni House. When will I know if I've secured a tailgate site? If you've purchased one, you'll have one. We'll take that down when we've sold out. But yes, you'll get some confirmation on that. Where is the crafts fair? It is, it's on University Avenue. It's called Shoup Park, but nobody would know that. It's in front of Elliott Dorm and Trezevant Dorm and sort of Cleveland Dorm. So it's it'll be something you can just walk through as you're going somewhere else. Let's see, is the dining hall open to eat? Yes, it'll be open. Your name tag will get you in for breakfast and lunch. And then of course, Friday night we have the meal offered to you. So, but I think outside of those two, you can go there if you want. And you know, Sterling's would be open as well as some of the two downtown restaurants, Shenanigans and the Blue Chair. And then if you haven't tried the Golf Lodge, it has a restaurant in there now, and it's really, really good. Okay. Somebody asked, do all freshmen get gown? They weren't here to hear me say that. You have to earn your gown, so freshmen haven't had a chance to do that yet. So the first opportunity to earn your gown is the fall of your sophomore year. And like I said, that is pretty awesome. Well, y'all are kind of easy. What else?
Hey, Susan, you mentioned a shuttle. Where do you catch the shuttle?
We'll have some designated stops. So it's the Sewanee Inn, McGriff here, downtown Sewanee, and then kind of in front of McClurg, so the quad area. So we have 4 stops here. And like I said, it works as a shuttle on this end, but then it'll take you wherever you want to go within like a 6-mile radius. And seminary students are drivers, and they love tips, and they might take you somewhere outside of that 6 miles if you ask them. Oh, someone's not able to come because they have another student. Yes, who asked that? Shauna? Yeah, the freshman photo that we missed last year. We're gonna recreate that. We're talking to the photographer who takes it and the people who give us the equipment to get him. So we're probably going to look in about 2 weeks for a date to do that for them. Well,
So what's the thing on tailgating? Like, we've only been to SEC schools, so are we allowed to have alcoholic beverages if we keep them in the red or solo cups, or what are the rules, like open container and all that?
Very good question. Yeah, you can have, you just can't leave that area walking around with it. But is anybody on here that did the tailgate before that can chime in? Like maybe they think I'm exaggerating how fun it is.
We did it. It was a blast.
It's very
And you
fun.
don't necessarily stay in the same spot. You wander a lot. And
Yeah.
the kids wander a lot.
Not
And the alcohol flows freely.
I was going to say the alcohol definitely flows freely, and it's a very good time.
Okay, thank you. I'm used to Ole Miss and
Oh yeah.
just gotta-
No, there is one family that brings a big setup and they have a chandelier and so it's fun.
Thank you.
Yes, the shuttle will take you to the assembly. I do need to tell you they don't go back into the assembly. They'll meet you at the gate and drop you off at the gate. That was at the assembly's request. Our big old vans were trying to pull around and back up and stuff. So that's what we do. So Sunday, what time? We don't really have any events planned except for the church services on Sunday. Well, yay. I hope this was helpful to you and kind of explain some of the things we get most often asked about. I know I've said that grammatically wrong. The things we get asked about most often. Well, good. We'll be on the lookout for more. That's how we're going to communicate through emails with you guys and on the social media and website. And then just know that you can call me or email me if you have any questions. All right. I think it's time to go. Thank you, guys. We will see you soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.